Awesome, awesome. Super happy Friday. We're all here. Other people will be joining. Just putting together some last minute notes. Hello, Chris Tuna. I'm starting to recognize more and more of your guys' names. Is that good? Smoogie. I never know how to say that. Maple, Moisem. Good to see you guys. Who else we got in here? Cotton Cheese. Some of your guys' names make me laugh. Workle Bay. Dracula's Heir. Ed777. I'm sipping my coffee here as we're waiting everybody to get in. Hello, Crazy Town. I love that movie. Hard G, like Smoogie, like Boogie, Smoogie. Did I get that right? Smoogie? Good afternoon. That's right. It's afternoon for some folks. Maybe late night, super early morning. Looks like more of our Gala friends are now on the stage too.
Morning.
Morning. Where's Mal? Where's Volcron? I see Resource here. Welcome.
Good morning. I have myself paused because are muted because I am just sneezing like crazy. Allergies are kicking my butt today.
I solved that by just staying inside. We got more people coming. There's some interesting stuff. We were just sorting out the agenda today a few minutes ago. Volcron, I think, is going to be hopping in at some point. 1 minute. So let's maybe wait another 30 seconds to a minute. Twisted
All right.
Tequila, welcome. Atomic is here too. Lonely Island. Red Fox 78, welcome. Doug Sunny. I love all your guys' icons there. Dorbs 84, Kill Switch, Gladiator, Lumberghini. I see Raheel here. Welcome, Raheel. I'm assuming you're the Raheel we know.
Hey, Volcron's here too.
Yay! All right.
Inviting me.
Now we can start. We've been waiting for you, Volcron. It's the end of the day. Well, welcome everybody. We've got some exciting news to share, and I think some questions still. So for the Gala team members, keep an eye on that Slack chat so I can make sure we coordinate maybe this last minute thing that I asked us to look at in terms of releasing. But Michelle, why don't you kick us off and lead us through this wonderful AMA today?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's talk about what happened this week in the Townstar live game first. We've got Shallow Minds, which should be coming in soon. I don't believe that they're in the game yet, but hopefully very soon. I know everyone is super excited to use them. They look pretty cool. So that'll be really nice for Land Rush when you no longer are required to get a mountain to make, wine or blue steel or anything. So that should release a big strain that Land Rush currently causes. I think it's really good for the game. They are slower than regular mines, in case anybody hasn't looked at the announcements yet. They will be twice the speed of the regular mines that are attached to mountains. They will still have all the same requirements. That'll have to be placed on an edge. It will not be placeable on an ocean or a river edge, so it will have to be open world, which means land on the other side, similar to the way your trade depot and your express depot place. And they'll have all the same requirements, paved road and everything. So that'll be really nice. We've got a competition next week, which is those gift parcels. I know they look intimidating, but 1 million stars each for a parcel. It's a pretty good deal if you can make them. I'll be excited to see everybody's rates with those once we start going here. I know we got a lot of other game and core changes that are happening this week. Some of them I think are going to stick around. Some of them probably not. Mal probably knows more. I don't know if Mal, you want to talk about any of those changes?
Just as I start typing in Discord, I'm on my phone this time, so it's like switch between 700 menus to unmute. What was the question? Sorry.
Do you want to talk about any of those other updates that are happening when the update goes live with the wood changes and the pumpkin changes?
Yeah, so the big ones, obviously, the ability now that you don't need as Michelle's just said, you don't need to worry as much about the mountain, which I think is massive. I can't express that enough. I've seen people now debating, do I fancy a mountain? Maybe I'll go for an ocean. And it was really nice to see people having that strategy choice. Other things include the brine timers and the silica red timers have been reduced on red. So it used to be, I think, 565 seconds for silica and 475 seconds for brine. They're both reduced down to 180 seconds now on red. So if you don't get an ocean or you don't have a desert tile, then you can still produce those resources pretty quickly and not suffer heavily over location selection. We got things like peppermint, pumpkins and strawberries have had the wood removed to grow them. So that'll take a massive burden off the amount of immediate tree growth you need going on, which is always nice. The pumpkin changes for the no road and no wood. Pumpkins require no road as well now, if that's new. If you haven't seen that leak. The pumpkin changes will be core. I'm still undecided on the peppermint and strawberry. But I do know for at least the next couple of metas, they will remain as they are with the no wood. And I think that's all the changes I've covered. Have I missed any, Michelle? I don't think so.
No, I think you got them all.
Mal, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the 1,000,000 points for the parcel that Michelle shared a little bit more. They shared a little bit earlier.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a funny one. Obviously, with the food parcel, I should have went higher on the points and didn't. So I thought, as a bit of a joke, I was going to make it a whopper of a points. But then I realised that by going big points, I can increase lots of other metas. So we put blue steel points up to 8,000. Decorated cake's been put to 16,500. Pumpkin pie's been boosted to 3,500. A bunch of stuff's been put high points. And the reason for the 1,000,000 is if you were to only do one parcel an hour, maybe you're brand new, maybe it's a bit complicated, whatever it is. And I just want to point out, people are finding it far easier than I imagined. But if you're only able to do one gift parcel an hour, then you will still be able to do that meta and not have to worry. Whereas the last one, other people were doing the meta and felt like they were being overtaken by people not doing the meta. So the 1,000,000 points is to sort of solidify the meta and make sure anyone who's not doing it very quickly can at least take part, as well as allowing for all the other metas to be put back in.
That's cool. Hey, Resource, do you have any other notes on TSL this week? Updates?
I don't. I don't want to give anything away, so I'm being quiet.
Okay.
I'm here for moral support.
Awesome. Well, maybe we should jump in. Maybe we should jump into TSF updates. What do you think, Michelle?
Let's do it.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Well, without giving away anything that is not in the video, I'm going to be sharing a video in a little bit of some of the updates of Townstar Forever. If anybody has been paying attention to what we've discussed or seen some of the vids already, some of this may be a little bit of a repeat, but I'd like to go over it anyway. As far as the units we go, of course, we've got the farmer. Everybody's seen that. We've got the logger and the lumberjack. The builder house is in there. Candy shop, chocolate shop, farmhouse, fuel storage. Of course, the logger house and the lumberjack house. The windmill went in this week. There's been a woodshed for a while. The silo. We've got some footage of the cotton field in there, dirt roads, marsh, of course, oak trees, ponds, rock field, sugarcane field is nice. It's growing. Tree farm, trees, the well, and the classic wheat field. So that's in there. Pretty cool. And then as far as the stuff the team's been working on, I'd like to, if you don't mind, if this wouldn't bore anybody too much, just stop me if it does. I'd like to talk about a little bit of the back end and the difference between Townstar Forever and Townstar Live in terms of the infrastructure a bit without giving away spoilers or anything. Would that be all right? You think that would be interesting, or should I stick to features?
I think that'd be great. No, talk about it some. Share a little bit.
Okay. So as you know, Townstar Live, when you go to the P2E servers, there's you can pick one of several. And that's fine. But what we wanted to do was just make it a little more seamless. So as far as the infrastructure goes, the idea is that we would have effectively an unlimited number of servers, and those are just the interface to the game data anyway. So there wouldn't be any more like picking which server you want to play on. Instead, we want to be able to scale to support as many people as we can, say 1 million people. So that kind of work that goes into that is often invisible, but we have some of the smartest people I've ever worked with on it, and I'd just like to say they're awesome. They're doing amazing work with our load balancing and with auto deploy and all this, so our releases will go smoother, and I'm just really proud of the team for that. I just wanted to call that out. As far as the feature work that people probably more care about, we've started on audio and taking a look at some of those assets as well. Pathfinding these are things that we're beginning, and then some NFT work. And then as far as our walkers and all that, I'd like to share a video here in a minute when I can get it uploaded. Let's see, anything else? Any features in particular you guys wanted me to cover?
Let's see what people are saying. Top Boy Q just popped in.
What's going on? Want them leaks?
Oh, leaks. Saw some notes saying, it's a great list of ideas. Mystery Peanut said, that's pretty sweet how many things were just listed. Yeah, there's a lot going on, and a lot of work that's been going on behind the scenes. We've talked about before what we call kind of walking the talk. We're telling you guys what we're doing. We're actually doing it. Volcron just mentioned it. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Michelle is going to share, I don't know what we're affectionately calling the Zoom video, or the L-shaped one. Let me just make sure we get that. Make sure we get that queued up for you guys.
Okay.
Having multiple servers allow you to have more than one town, which is good. Yeah, it actually opens up what we've talked about, having your persistent town and your competition town, right? So, and then it also opens up the idea to have different types of competitions running at the same time, which is even crazier, right? It's one of the exciting things I love about the whole re-architecting that's been happening, that Volcron's been doing. On Townstar stage. Oh, okay, sorry. How are we looking with that upload, Michelle?
It's uploading.
Okay.
It's working itself out.
Awesome. Other questions? You guys, Volcron's here. He's in a talkative mood. Can share history. Can be has got a lot of leeway today to talk about everything that's been created. 64. Oh, yeah, nice, right? Just I love Tom Holler. That's beautiful. All right. Will there be able to be in competition mode and simultaneously go over to practice mode? Interesting note. Yeah, we can do that. I think there is, with the idea of having multiple servers, multiple towns, we just have to work out on the gameplay side, how that feels, the user experience. No more cargo lines. You mean conga lines? Yeah, we got to work on pathfinding. But those videos are there now. I can see them in my discussion. If you guys want to pop up the first one, look at it. Volcron, you made these videos. Can you give us an overview of what they are? What people are going to be
Sure,
seeing
yeah.
when they look at them?
Yeah, so this is obviously running in dev mode, so it's me with my keyboard and mouse. It's not as smooth as, a professional might do, but I wanted to show off some of the camera spinning, 60 FPS. In that second video, town expansion and some zoom ins. Personally, I find that one a little more interesting because it shows an L-shaped town, which players might find interesting and or weird. The reason I wanted to show that off is to show the idea of not all towns, like we mentioned in early August, not all towns have to be rectangles. This one shows an expansion of a 16 by 16 block added to your town. So I hope people find that interesting. Let me know if you do. And that top one.
That's the one where you were just scrolling around that you captured your play.
Yeah, this one's just kind of showing off the units a little bit. Lumberjack, logger, carrying things, knocking down the trees, depositing.
So as you guys look, all you detectives out there looking at the name of that first video, screen recording, September 15th at 8:56 a.m. Right, so that was yesterday where Volcom recorded that and sent that. I guess maybe in the future we should clean up our names, or I should clean up the names before we have them ready to be uploaded. But that's just reality you're looking at there. So again, teams have been working hard behind the scenes, getting everything in place, getting the gameplay in place, working very, very hard towards our end of September date to have as much of the current functionality with Townstar Live in place in the engine, in Godot, with the new server system in Townstar Forever. Anybody got any questions, or is everybody downloading those videos and watching them? Sort of a last-minute call on my part to share those with you guys. I think they're very worthy of being shared. I see several people typing. Maybe we pause for a minute and just talk about a little bit more. There was Michelle suggested that we talk about this. Michelle, did we talk about the workers' sort of energy and happiness before? Have we raised that yet, or is that new?
Community, no.
Ah, okay. So one of the key differences, and this is I like to think of small changes that over time can have a big impact on play. And one of those key differences there between Townstar Live and Townstar Forever is the idea that your workers are actually, they have energy to them, energy level and happiness level. And so, for example, as the current thinking, and this may all change as we get to alpha and test it out, but the current thinking and the current design spec has workers. So you build a farmhouse and your farmer pops out. Well, that farmer has two attributes right now. Energy, or hunger, if you want to call it that, and happiness. And the way that we're looking at setting it up is that we'll have restaurants on the game board. And as your worker is your farmer's out there doing farming, eventually that energy level will drop, and he'll have to take a stop by the restaurant, or maybe we'll drop a buff of food on him to bring that back up. And if he doesn't, if we're not there and the game's sort of running overnight, or you have it up still running and you're watching it, he'll just go to his house for a minute and take a nap. Now, obviously, how long the nap lasts and how quickly the food or the energy level restores, those are all things that we're going to tune. But we're really looking at making some very small and simple changes that will then, affect gameplay in a positive way, of course. The other piece of it, as we talked about, is happiness. We're still working out on the details on exactly how that works, but we want to make it not just an identical copy for what we do with the energy, i.e. the happiness goes down and then they stop at some place and then they get happy again and they go back out and walk. So lead designer and our PM and I are talking about that. So we'll figure that out. Is it just me, or are there no more comments since Lark's posted his? Oh no! Oh my God! Look at it. Sorry, I had scrolled and stuck on a scroll early up. Okay, so now I'm seeing all the notes. Playing the game which can be found reset. Okay, are there going to be food NFTs? I don't know. We haven't got that far into talking about food NFTs, but we talked about restaurants and places to get stuff to eat. I can imagine all kinds of fun stuff there. The thing I like about adding that energy or the need for food there, it opens up a whole new design space on restaurants, food trucks, food stands. I don't know, apple trees even or something like that. So yeah, that's pretty cool. RC Moon Ape, yeah, not the Sims. It's we'll reduce it down to make it a little bit just more casual, more light. Just adding a touch of flavor that self-determined character. One of the things, and I think Farmer Michelle and I were talking about this, maybe a month ago or so, is that right now Townstar really feels like a factory town where everybody's working and working and working. There's no breaks, no fun, no families or anything like that. So we're going to be looking at that going forward. When will weather be added? Mixed bag of nuts. Weather's a cool thing. Not going to happen soon. It's definitely in the list of things we want to do for later in the game. Let's see. Pollution affects happiness. Ooh, interesting, Willow. That's a good point. I want to be careful with all the passive effects that happen on the game board. It still feels, I want to make sure that we make that as visible as possible. You've seen some of the changes in Townstar Live, but one of the things I know from making past games like this, invisible things, for a large casual audience, invisible things are tripwires. And so we're going to have to make sure we figure that out. But as you can see there, Willow, as you're talking about, just the idea of adding happiness, suddenly go, wait a minute, does pollution affect that? What about weather? What about, I don't know, the type of work they're doing, right? So there's all kind of cool things like that. Let's see. Other questions on this? How about a steakhouse? To steak your, that's interesting. Kind of a different question there. Other questions? Any other notes on the videos? What do you guys think of those? Cool? Yes? Oh, I'm scrolling back up there. I'm looking at KRK. Can you stop cheating? Well, hey, if you've been listening along, you know that the whole Townstar Forever rewrite changes the game from play canvas to Godot. Also, the server re-architecture that Volcron has talked about many, many times, it makes it server authoritative, not client authoritative. So yes, cheating will be addressed exactly in that way. So there's always going to be cheaters in every single game, but it'll be just much easier for us to track and stop them cold before it even happens. So we also do still have the Ledger of Truth tracking what's going on in Townstar Live. So we know what's happening. Love the videos, look smooth as heck. The L-Town brings up a bunch of new ideas and challenges. Absolutely, absolutely. Lexel, I see that video is great. Is there a way for Gal to have an official roadmap? Yeah, we're not going to publish that roadmap. We're just going to say what we're doing and then show you. Let's see. Yeah, Mel, that's right.
Yeah, just to make more of a point on that, we've been moving to this new engine now for over a month. But, the whole point is all the new features we get, all the quicker and less crazy maintenance, and as well as stopping cheaters. As Sage just said, none of this putting console commands in and just getting what you want. Like, lots of obvious cheating that's known now will go away instantly. I just want to make that clear. That's always been one of the big goals. That's been happening for well over a month now. That's what we paused to get things sorted, get a better upgrade, get a better engine, get everything fixed. So I just want to make that clear to everyone. Cheating will definitely be solved in the new engine to as much as cheating can be solved. There's always some ways to cheat, I'm sure, but the easy and obvious ways will be going away.
Yeah. Thanks, LB Postman. Yes, we are staying focused. The team is incredibly focused. Moizem, get the game as it is now so we can play it while the other option is being added. Well, that's part of the focus. We are going to be releasing the game in stages. We're not going to put everything all in right away because it would just take forever to do. So if you guys remember some of the old, maybe some of you guys played some of the old Facebook games I made, like Farmville or Cityville, or even Empires and Allies on mobile. We come up with a base set of game, make sure that that's fun, works well, and then we add on top of that over time. So all of the features won't pile in all at once. The team is working really hard and really fast to get this first version playable up. Now, one of the things that everybody's asking is like, when are we going to get to play? When's there going to be an alpha? The team has a goal within the next few weeks to have something that I like to call maybe the first public sampling. Maybe we'll have a limited group of players just get in, actually take a look at it, give some early feedback. It won't be the full playable game, but we're still trying to get that in place because obviously we want to keep the team moving at pace, but we also don't want to derail them into trying to get something ready before it's time. And so that'll be coming up in the next couple of weeks. Why don't we, Michelle? What do you think? Is it time to go on to some of the questions that we've been asking, or that's been asked
of us? Like a great segue, since my first question was, when will there be public Godot testing?
Yeah. I think, like I said, we have the goal. We'll have to see if we make it in the next, next 3 to 4 weeks, to have something for at least other people besides us to play. Internal to the company, Volcron's created that link that everybody can jump in and test and see every single day. They're doing continuous integration and continuous deployment. So that'll make things much easier, much smoother as we get ready to transition. Now, we got to say, we're going to be very careful in how we roll this out in public and getting people to play. We're not going to jump it open and allow everybody to come right away. We're going to kind of stage it out, and we'll see, because the team will continue to be doing development on it, and so we just got to be careful. I don't know if anybody out there has released a game before. That as soon as you open it up for public use, then your work doubles or triples, maybe quintuples, because you have to support the player base. You're fixing bugs, and so we're going to try to be very careful on how we open this up. Maybe small little test periods, maybe a few people at a time, just kind of test some other scenarios that we might not be able to do. Hop77, what's the plan for Jiri integration? Yes, Jiri integration. We are scheduled to get time with the Jiri team in October or November. And that's, I say that sounds like a lot of time, but there's a lot of other work going on right now. Jiri is targeting their launch at the end of October. So our goal will be to slipstream into that, benefit from the other teams that are already being integrated with that right now, and launch the game. When we do the full launch of the game, a full beta of the game, it will be on Jiri. What's the next question? I see this thing, production monitoring. Dear God, please, right? Sure, yes. We've talked about that before. It'll be in there in the competition mode. Hey, and if we have it there, then we can also look at it for the forever mode. It will be a very, in the forever mode, in persistent town mode, it'll play differently from competition, right? Because your town will last literally as long as you want it to last. So there'll be some different plays, different fields there. What's next, Michelle?
The next question I have is, I would like to know what thing you're most excited about and looking forward to in the new game.
Oh, why don't somebody else talk for a minute? Let me take a sip of water.
I'll go first. I think the thing that I'm probably most excited about is, aside from less cheating, which is obviously the biggest win, I think, with the new game, I'm probably most excited about not having to keep it open all the time. Being able to close the screen and let it still play in the background will definitely be really exciting. I know personally I'm more of a competition player than like a persistent long-term player, but I think that some of the stuff that's getting added in that will be a part of the persistent game will also be very exciting. I'll be interested to see how the energy and all that stuff that you talked about earlier works out. I think that's pretty much all I've got. So mostly, yeah, not cheating is definitely my most exciting thing for the new game. I think it's going to be really great for the game and for sentiment in general.
Yep.
I think mine's got to be meta-specific servers, or just the ability to customize events to be much more tailored to, rather than, like now we do one change and it's a global thing and everyone has to deal with it if they're playing the monthly server or the competition. So I think it'd be nice to have that customization for events.
Yeah, I think you can make some really tricky, challenging, fun, extreme competitions, right? If we're not all limited to everybody having to play the same one.
Yeah, especially the starting maps as well. There's just a bunch of things that changing now is a real nightmare, and it would be really fun parts to adjust in metas and events and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the long-term towns as well. I love playing games for months or years and just seeing where they can go.
What about Resource? What about you?
Apologize. I was working hard on this release. What was the question?
What are you looking forward to most in Townstar Forever?
Gosh, I think that what really gets me is I think I am excited about the reducing the amount of cheating, and then which is I feel like I'm cheating in saying that because I feel like that's kind of an obvious, right? But I think what is exciting to me mostly is just the sky being the limit and us being able to do and incorporate various other things to make Townstar not only just, the competitions and things like this, but also really fun to play, genuinely fun.
Yeah, I want to add on to that as well. As a game maker, when I look at effectively the new platform, which will be Townstar Forever, with the server architecture, with all the very careful coding and robust coding that Volcron and the team are doing, I look at that and say, yeah, we can add so much more features. We can develop things over time. We can let just that idea of building up your town kind of evolve. The game evolve as we're supporting it live. Just much easier to add new features. And then on top of that, the explosive coolness of being on Jiri. It's our own chain. And, Ra, I'll get to your question. I saw you ask it about 4 times here. But being able to be on our own chain, opening up all the different things we can do with NFTs in terms of upgrades, changes to them. And we talked about migrating the Townstar Live NFTs into Townstar Forever and upgrading their functionality. So many cool things on that, as well as just continue to roll out expansions, new city types, new biomes. This feels like, now the future's open wide. So that as a game maker, that gets me excited because what we're doing is really opening up with the tech that we have. We're opening up the design space dramatically. And the new design thinking and the kind of the small changes that have big effects, those are the things that are getting me most excited about this. Now, Ra, I'm going to jump in real quick before we move to the next question. Ra, you've been saying, wait a minute, and I asked, can I jump back and forth from my server to a practice server? Well, think about this like this. We have the ability now to have multiple competition servers, right? We have the ability to also have extra practice servers or kind of whatever we want. So we can configure that to what the community wants and needs. Now, the whole part we haven't figured out yet is just making sure that the rules are fair, making sure that as you're using all of your assets in the competition mode, it just makes sense. So I'm not worried about that. I think we can pretty much handle that pretty well. Oh, I know. Yeah, pathfinding's being rewritten. What you're seeing in the videos there is not the final version. Volcron, you got a question there from Billy Black Sox. You see that?
Yeah, I see that.
Oh, yeah, I can answer that. We're not talking about nodes right now. That is still being designed and figured out. Sorry, Volcron, I didn't read the whole question. I just saw your name there.
Oh, yeah. No, thank you.
Okay, Michelle, what's the next question for us?
Next question I have is, I'd like to know what the plan is with all these new higher tier crafts. Will we be getting a new craft every 2 weeks for the foreseeable future? Are we trying to get to a point when there are no new products being introduced that a number of crafts will be meta and there is variety in what people can make and do well? Sorry, I was trying to read that from a really long distance away with my 2 screens.
I mean,
That's
I
for
have an
Mal.
opinion on that one. Yeah, I can. So, do we plan on adding every 2 weeks and then 1 day stop? Was that the question, Michelle? I can at least speak for what we're doing now anyway is for the Townstar Live, we're trying to keep all of our resources focused on getting Forever up. And, because we obviously, that's the goal at the end of the day. But we still want to make sure the events are fun. We've got new metas, new crafts, and stuff like that. So lately, they've been a bit more, like not like the Beekeeper, for example, and the Beehive and the Pottery and all those type of stuff. So with crafts, we really do have the option to be like, is it a small, just one thing added? Is it a thing that takes multiple crafts? It's adding crafts, I think, is fine until it gets to the point where there's either a need to slow down or maybe even a need to increase would be my point on that. The idea of just not adding anything else ever again and certain things just remain meta, I don't think that's very fun. I think that needs to be at least a refresh in what you're doing as a gamer. Otherwise, it becomes very repetitive. The idea of multiple things competing, I do like the idea there's options.
Yeah, I want to jump in on that too. You hit on an exact correct point, Mal, there at the end, saying, yeah, we're going to continue to introduce new stuff. Of course, that's what live game is. That's how you work on a game over years. You continue to add surprise and delight. With a new engine, it's going to be so much easier to do that. And then the other point, Mal, you made, which is, we're going to look at it if we've been doing too much recently, we'll slow it down a bit, let people kind of understand, enjoy, and digest the current stuff that's out there. But Townstar Forever, we're going to have the ability to just keep going. So that's good. What's next, Michelle?
The next question I have is, will the distance to cities always be OP, or will 2 or 3 gas locations obtain different transport types that make those areas more useful? For example, planes can only work in 2 to 5 gas locations.
Yeah, we haven't gone into the details on that. I know that the whole world map placement and competition mode, that's a key part in people's minds. In the persistent mode, in the forever mode, the options for having transports, wow, it explodes, right? And we talked, I think we mentioned before, having, airports, seaports, helipads, all kinds of different cool stuff. And in the competition mode, we'll figure that out. I mean, we get it. We just haven't gone into the design specifics yet for Forever. Nephilim Boss, planes in the planes. Yes, planes in the planes. There's so much cool stuff, right? Seaports, everything. Just go back and look at.
Would be fun.
What was that?
Seaports would be fun.
Yeah, cargo ships.
Yeah.
Cargo ships.
Yeah. You've got the big ships.
Cruise lines. Pirate ships.
I know.
Cruise ships.
Planes were a big one, and all the different types of transport. The strategy around transport can be an interesting one, especially in terms of location. I know I kind of wanted it. So if you use more of a energy or fuel to get a place, then you would get more for it. I feel like that makes more sense. In the real world, if you're traveling further, there's probably more of a cost associated or more of a reward for doing so. So I always like that thinking as well, is the distance or the amount being used worth taking into consideration?
I see people talking about blimps and trains. I love trains. Crazy Town, here's a key question. Why is the focus completely on persistent mode when the current place is more leaning towards competition mode? That's a great question. I wouldn't say the focus is completely on persistent mode. It's just we already know a lot about competition mode. But the meta the meta answer to your question is yes, we have a very loyal fan base for competition mode. Townstar Live is something that's very key in the history of Gala, and we want to support all of our players and fans. And we want to go for a much larger player community. And part of that doing is moving away from just the very focused play of competition into opening up, different modes of play, different styles of play, the ability to add different features, have your game board last for a longer time. And those are kind of the things that will attract a much larger and wider player base. It's not saying the competition mode is going away, that it's not important. No, it's very important. But we have a lot of that figured out. Now, what we have to do is figure out the rest of the game. So that's why we're talking so much about that.
I see a question around team towns or like co-op towns. And I find that a really interesting one. When I think about it, I couldn't imagine building lumber and getting me energy and then just looking at my teammate spent it building his half. So it's a fun concept of how that would even work in a team town. Do you have your own resources? Are they shared? Is it even possible? How would that look? Function? So it's an interesting idea anyway, and it's been asked a few times, so I thought I'd address it. I definitely think it's an interesting concept. I don't know how we do it, if we were ever going to do it, but I do know that I have read it anyway, because I know a few people have suggested it.
Yeah, that we definitely still have to just flesh out the rest of the social features that we want to do. And I see somebody wrote up, Timmy, yes, Team Jimmy, in other words, named Timmy. Let's go to the next question, Michelle.
The next question I have was kind of answered already. I know we talked about it, but I'm going to ask it anyway in case there's anything else anyone wanted to say. When will monitoring scripts be available in Townstar? I use third-party scripts for monitoring because Townstar doesn't make it available yet. Thanks.
Here's my take on that. I would think that we do not want to have third-party monitoring scripts, but maybe we can create an API and make that clean for everybody. But instead, I'd rather just have that functionality, the monitoring functionality in the game. Just keep things simple. You don't have to worry about where you're going to, where you're going to get the script and is it safe? And then will the script work? Because we're going to be working really hard not to allow the current. The architecture just makes the kind of current scripting thing that people do just outdated. What's the next question?
The next one I have is,
more.
Will Townstar forever have build trees to make it more clear what items need to be built for a specific craft?
We'll make it more clear, yes. That's obvious to me. It's actually, I'd love to have some ability inside the game for everybody to see what's going on. The question really comes down to that is the UI and the UX experience. How do we look at that and make that so that it, when you think about a build tree, you can pop up a big menu and that's cool. And that's the easy way, but is there a way to integrate it in the gameplay as you're actually playing and, have that show up? And build trees, you guys who've played RTS games before, that's what those things are built on, right? Build trees and how do you progress through them? So we will have that. The only question in my mind still is what's the UI going to be?
All right, the next question I have is, will ghost walls in buildings be in Townstar forever, or is that just part of the Townstar Live code?
Yes, it's part of the Townstar Live code. I laugh at that one because when I found out what the Townstar Live code was trying to do, where they have the worker walk up, go through the doorway, and then he's standing inside the house, and when he wants to leave, he has to go back out that doorway. I look and say that's an amazing amount of coding, a bunch of edge cases that it's created, and right now I've asked the team to just keep it simple. Have the worker walk up to the opening or walk up to the house that they need to go into, and if possible, get to the front of it where the door is. If not, just kind of go inside of it. Let the door open and close and not worry about all that extra work to make him walk exactly inside the door and hang out in there. I know that's a cool kind of very polished feature, but I'd rather not spend a lot of time trying to get that going and out of a door and the edge cases done in favor of working on more features. So yes, we'll fix it. There won't be a ghost door problem anymore. What's next?
The next question I have is, will only Gala Gold members have access to Townstar forever?
Oof. I'm tempted to kind of make a joke on this, but absolutely that's not true. Everybody will have access to it. If someone's worried about only gold members being access to the game, you don't have to worry about that. So yeah, just put that one to rest. I'm looking at some of the questions that are out there. Maybe we ought to wrap into the last bit of here because we're running pretty long today. So let's just go ahead and jump to some of the rest of the agenda there, Michelle.
The only other thing I really have is that we're going to put out a survey later today. I should get it posted probably right after the end of this AMA to try to gather some feedback, check in with the community, see how what we're doing is being viewed, see everyone is enjoying the game, all of that. So definitely everybody should take the survey and let us know how you feel. We will be looking at it. I think the only other thing we have is probably a sales announcement for Monday. Mal, you want to talk about what's coming on sale on Monday?
Does Top Boy want me to? I can definitely say it's the cakery and bakery buildings. So I will say that much for now. So if the idea of being able to place a cakery or a bakery and pick it up as you need, which I think is one of the important things when using buildings. Things have wages or it's not efficient to have one down. Sometimes you don't know. Sometimes less is actually more in Townstar for rates. You remove that bakery and now all of a sudden all the others are moving much quicker. So it's nice to have the option to just put it down. Is it this bakery? No, pick it up rather than have to go through the process of getting all the things to build it and wait and destroy your rates in the process of doing that anyway. And it's the same for a cakery. It's even more expensive than a bakery in games. So the idea that you can just pick it up, plop it down, check, which is the best spot, be more organized, as well as just not having to spend that first initial cash rush money for things like a bakery or a cakery. So these are really nice for being precise, as well as you're saving a lot of time in game having these as NFTs. I don't know if Farmer Michelle has any input on that.
No, I think it'd be super cool to be able to buy a bakery and a cakery and not have to worry about it in the game.
Did you mention the currency or limits on this, Mel?
Well, it'll be in town, as I assume. I didn't know if I'm supposed to say the price or anything like that. Top Boy still hasn't messaged me. Is he in here listening?
He said go for it.
Yeah, the bakery is going to be $110 in town only, and the cakery is going to be $130 in town only. The total supply for sale is 2,150 of each of them.
Thank you, Michelle. I didn't see
the cakery was $130.
Yeah, 110 on the bakery, 130 for the cakery. And and there's plenty to go around anyway. It's not going to be some limited thing. No Elite Club stuff. I think it's really nice. These are two nice buildings. I've seen someone say Pumpkin Pie Rush will be a thing. That's interesting. Pumpkin Pie isn't a very complicated build to make. So, if you can figure out the water for them pumpkins.
Mm-hmm. I want to jump into, I see two questions in here, or two notes that I want to talk about. So Will Bake said, maybe ask the users how to format the production monitor. Just shared that with Farmer Michelle this morning. Yes, ask people. Let's make sure we know what people are looking for, and we cover that as we're building this into the game.
I will definitely add some questions to the survey about it. We can gather some information.
Yeah, definitely. Then Helland 2LND asks, people like to be rewarded by playing every day with XP, which they use for personal leveling up. Every levels can be rewarded with speed buffs for certain things in game. Absolutely. That's one of the things that was actually on the list to talk about, but we didn't talk about yet today, is we're introducing in persistent mode, obviously, and this comes with your, with your account there, XP and levels. I think that's absolutely critical. So yes, we're doing that. So good call out, good guess on that feature. Is there any last minute questions that we want to talk about here? Answer? You guys seeing anything in the discussion board? No.
I don't
seeing any.
see anything.
Okay. Well, what we've gone a little extra long today, I think, or maybe it's Friday and it seems like it was a little bit longer. But thanks everybody for joining us, and thanks to the Townstar team for coming in. Mal, Michelle, Resource, Volcron, thank you for joining us here today and helping share all the information. And to our audience, everybody, I see 200 plus people listening right now. Awesome. As always, put notes into chat. Mal, Michelle are in there. I'm in there occasionally. So are other team members. We'll try to do the best we can to answer those things. And thank you for your support. We're really excited to be able to share this stuff with you. And really, I don't know if you can tell, as a team, we're really excited to get Townstar Forever in shape and out the door. Can't wait for people to get their hands on it for all the reasons that we discussed and described. So thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it. Nice to see everyone who doesn't normally hang in the channel.
Michelle, Resource, go. You could sign up, say goodbye. Volcron.
Bye, everybody. You'll see me in the chat all weekends. I'm always there. I don't really need to say goodbye.
As usual,
that's true.
I had a blast. Thank you.
Oh, I love that. All right. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to stay here on the stage.